Hello there, this is Tim back for another movie review, this time of The Lone Ranger. Just got out of the theater here, showtime was 6:40, it is now 9:10 p.m., so this was a long film, and sadly it's a film that you notice its time as you're watching it. It's a film that drags on and drags on. There's some fantastic scenes within this film, but it wasn't encapsulating the way, say, Pirates of the Caribbean were, or even longer form films of the 1960s. I'm trying to think of one that would come to mind, but this film had high aspirations, I think, but did not deliver what it was going after. So I came to this film knowing it was poorly reviewed, that it was 2.5 hours long, that kind of stuff. And in the past, let me, throw that to the wind, because I tend to like longer movies, and I like movies that people hate in many instances. But this time, I don't want to say I hated it, because I did not hate this film. The Lone Ranger, I had several moments of, really good experiences in it. But when it's all said and done, it's not about a good scene here or there. It's about a good, cohesive story that makes you want to watch it again and again. This movie is a movie I'm glad I saw, but it's one I'm glad I am going to only see once. It's not a movie I will ever see again. It had so many problems with pacing, so many problems with just what it was. This was an origin story at its worst. This was an origin story that took 2 hours to get to the part where he's actually the Lone Ranger type deal. That's not to say you don't see him as a Lone Ranger, you don't see him as an outlaw before that, but it took him 2 hours to realize who he really was supposed to be. It took forever to get to where we wanted the story to be. And this is a film, if they do make a sequel, the sequel should be the first one, as like The Incredible Hulk was to the Hulk. That's a bad example, but this is a film that should not have been made the way it was. I think they should not have even messed around with the origin part of the story and gotten right to the part of where he's actually who he is, the Lone Ranger. So this is a film that just dragged on, had some great scenes within it, had I would say bland action music in the Western theme, had some bland, it was a very formulaic film. It really was. They were trying to make a pirates movie, but on the desert, with a interesting story, I guess. But overall, this was a formulaic movie that did not wow me. It did not impress me. Maybe I'm too hard to impress these days, but this film would have been much better if it had been, a 90-minute to an hour and 45-minute film. This is not, the content in this film did not merit its length. So I'd say see it once if you're going to see it. Definitely not a purchase. It was kind of cool to see in theaters, but all honesty, there's better stuff out there right now in theaters. So yeah, I did not hate this film. I did not love this film. I slightly enjoyed it. It's a curious film that I'd say I'd recommend seeing it with hesitation. So that's, I guess, my thoughts on The Lone Ranger. It's a weird old film. So it's a very formulaic, trying to be a blockbuster film without hitting the right notes. That said, the one musical point I loved is the William Tell Overture being very prominent towards the end. That was a lot of fun. But anyways, thanks for watching this video about The Lone Ranger and my thoughts on it. Stay tuned for more movie reviews. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.